My name's Jonathan Hargreaves and I work for TRN Training. The topic of this session is county lines. County lines is where illegal drugs are transported from one area to another, often across police and local authority boundaries, and usually by children or vulnerable people who are coerced into doing so by gangs. These gangs exploit the children and vulnerable adults to move and store drugs and/or money, and will often use coercion, intimidation, violence of one sort or another, and use weapons. There are several signs to look out for when someone has been lured into this activity. They range from an increase in visitors and cars, new faces appearing, new and regular changing of residents, a change in a resident's mood and general demeanour, substance misuse and drug paraphernalia, changes in the way young people you know might dress, unexplained, sometimes unaffordable new things, residents or young people you know going missing, maybe for long periods of time, young people seen in different cars or taxis driven by unknown adults, young people seemingly unfamiliar with your community or where they are, truancy, exclusion or disengagement from school, an increase in antisocial behaviour in the community, and unexplained injuries. So what actually happens? Well, criminal gangs establish a base in a particular location, sometimes by taking over the home of a local vulnerable adult, whether by force or coercion, in a practice referred to as cuckooing. I have done a video on this very subject. They then target vulnerable local children, and adults become involved in selling drugs through a process of grooming. Once someone is involved with a criminal gang, it becomes difficult for them to escape. We know that county lines exploitation is a widespread problem, with gangs from big cities operating throughout the UK. Who do they target? Well, young people aged between 14 and 17 are most likely to be targeted by criminal groups, but there are reports of 7-year-olds being groomed into county lines. Primary school children are seen as easy targets because they're less likely to be caught. The grooming might start with them being asked to keep watch, but it soon escalates to them being forced to stash weapons, money, or become drug couriers. Young people are groomed into exploitation and abuse both online and offline. They may be sexually abused, forced into labour, made to launder money for criminals through their own bank accounts, or coerced into committing crimes like transporting drugs or stealing from shops. Buses, trains, trams and coaches are used to facilitate the movement of young people when they're being exploited. Fast food outlets and roadside services may be used for amenities and food stops. Hotels, shops and car washes may be places where exploitation happens behind closed doors. Hidden Girls was the title of a recent BBC documentary highlighting the impact of county lines on females in the UK. Although those involved in county lines are predominantly male, the involvement of girls and young women is said to be underestimated and growing. This is because females are seen as less of a target of suspicion than their male cohorts, and may be increasingly asked to carry drugs and weapons as they are less likely to be discovered by public services. However, the consequences of joining a county lines gang can be horrific and life-threatening. These gangs use violence, intimidation and sexual exploitation. Young women have been raped, passed around dealers as so-called gift girls as reward for making profits, and even shot at. It is a fact that county lines is an issue affecting not just the major cities but all local areas, both rural and urban. I shall read you a statement as issued by the government on the 12th of July 2021. Kit Malthouse, the Minister of State at the Home Department, stated that in 2019 we have invested over 65 million to tackle county lines and drug supply, including 40 million committed this year. Through our County Lines programme, we have become smarter in our activity against these ruthless gangs, resulting in more than 1,000 lines being closed, more than 5,800 arrests, and more than 1,500 vulnerable adults and children safeguarded, and this was highlighted in all the media reporting. The message of this session is, if something doesn't feel right, don't wait, report it. Thank you for joining this session. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon.